national vaccine program. Expands unemployment insurance to $400 a week instead of $300 a week. Biden noted that this was the first of a two-part plan to the road to recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Biden's COVID plan will build off the bipartisan relief legislation passed in December. My question is, how are you going to pay for it? And two, how much money's earmarked for other things in this $1.9 trillion than just COVID relief? We saw how much of the $900 million was earmarked for other things besides COVID, besides stimulus for the American people. How much pork is going to be attached to this before it's passed? Because believe me, here's what's going to happen. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You're going to start seeing ridiculous, stupid pork attached to these Democratic bills by Republicans. It's going to happen. Just as the Democrats did it when Donald Trump was president, attaching gender studies in Pakistan. Stop it. Well, you're going to see dumb stuff like that from the Republicans. I'll give you a prime example. I remember there was a spending bill that at the 11th hour, Bill Frist, do you remember him from Kentucky? He was a medical doctor. Bill Frist back in the late 2000s, 2008, 2009. Right at the last minute, he attached the UEFA bill, which said that banks and credit card companies, and that it wasn't illegal to play online poker, but it was illegal to offer ways to fund online poker accounts. And he used it by saying that, well, foreign entities could use online poker to make money and then fund their terrorist activities. And he stuck that in right at the last hour. Nobody even read it. It was a little provision that was stuck in. It was passed. Well, that led to Black Monday in the online gaming world. And I'm a little sour about it, I'll be honest with you. $48,000+ online when they shut my account off. I was on full tilt poker. After they shut my account off, I was on full tilt, all right. But he snuck it in because he was a high religion, high morals guy, and he thought gambling was the dregs of society. So he figured out a way and snuck this provision in on this spending bill to shut down online internet poker. Now it's legal in some states. New Jersey has opened up online poker, so has Nevada. There's a few states that have opened it back up through state law. But Bill Frist stuck this in. He was a Republican. He stuck it in right at the last hour. You famously remember the Democrats saying, with the Affordable Care Act, which isn't very affordable, doesn't really care about us, or if it did, the senators and the congressmen would be using the Affordable Care Act as well. But at the end of it, remember this statement? We don't need to read what's in the bill. We need to pass it first, then we'll read what's in it. Remember that? Well, that's going to happen again. The Republicans are going to do the same thing that the Democrats have been doing because it's ego-driven up in Washington. Na boo-boo. It's going to happen. I don't know how this $1.9 trillion is not going to balloon to a whole lot more, and I don't know who's paying for it. Hello, caller. You're on Ocala Talks. Hello? Hello, caller.
Yeah, if you've ever watched C-SPAN, you'll see when they bring a bill up to the floor, the presiding officer, there's a procedure. There's what's called the reading clerk, and they will read the title of the bill and the first sentence. And then the presiding officer will say, without objection, waive the reading of the bill. At that point, somebody has to stand up and say, I object, and force a floor vote as to whether to continue reading the bill or not.
It is almost like the the terms of service for joining Facebook or joining anything online, when it says, it's the terms of service, you read the first line, and then you realize that it's going to take you 30 minutes to read this thing. So you scan all the way, you scroll all the way down to the accept button and just press accept without even knowing what you accepted. That's what they do. Yeah. That's what they do in Congress all the time. You're right, Jim. They do that all the time.
Okay, you have a good morning.
Thank you. Yeah, they don't read these bills. They lean on their staff to tell them what's in these bills. And so stuff gets put in and hidden in these bills all the time. That's business as usual in Washington. Hi, caller, you're on Ocala Talks. Who's this?
Morning, Tom.
Hey, Hugh, how are you?
Well, I'm trying to stay warm.
Yeah, well, it's going to warm up to 72 today.
You might know, how is Canada handling this situation with unemployment and people that are in great need and all that? Are they spending that kind of money up there, or how are they handling it?
I that would be something I'd have to look into to figure it out. I don't know, because Canada already has so much in socialized medicine and everything like that, where the government takes care of it. I'm not real sure how they're taking care of that.
Well, you don't hear too much on it one way or the other, so evidently things are getting along all right up there.
If they're doing it better, if they're doing it in a better way, a more affordable way, our media is not going to let you know that, because they're not going to want you to know anything's better than what they're pushing. They're not going to let you know that.
Yeah, well, all I can say is that, boy, it's not only going to be an interesting next week, but our future. I almost kind of glad I'm in my 80s right now, and I can see the time when I leave the planet. It just doesn't look good here, and I really feel sorry for my grandkids and everybody else.
I've always heard. When I was growing up, I was about 15, teenage years, 20s, 30s. You want to leave something for the groups coming behind you. That was the goal.
Right.
Well, I don't think that's the goal anymore. I think now the goal is you want what you want, and screw everybody coming behind you.
Boy, it almost seems that way, don't it?
It really does. It really does. Thanks for the call, Hugh.
Okay, you bet. Thank you.
We're at a crossroads here in this country. But that, again, is why I say we need to make sure our local officials don't fall under the same situation the national officials do. Because this 1.9 trillion, 1.9 trillion with a T, is just the first in he said, this is just the first in a two-part plan for the COVID-19 pandemic. And that's what they're going to do. This entire time of this administration, I bet they're going to push everything we're doing is because of relief from the pandemic. It's all about getting relief from the pandemic. We need relief from the pandemic. We need to go back to work is what we need to do. We need to open up the country is what we need to do. Now, even New York, even the governor of New York, this moron Cuomo, who has been, he sent people to assisted living facilities where they got other people sick and died. So I would charge him with murder if it was me, but that's just me. Then he closed the state down, but him and de Blasio still did what they wanted to do, but they closed everybody else in the state down. Now, even those guys are saying we can't close again. The risk of closing far outweighs the risk of COVID now. It has the whole time. These morons are just coming to that realization. We're in this mess because they closed an entire world. They said, remember when this first happened? Remember Anthony Fauci? Remember how he said there'll be 3 million dead by the end of the year in the United States? Now, there's 385,000 dead, and that's way too many. But remember, 3 million dead by the end of the year. You could see 100 million worldwide. None of that's come to fruition. But they use that fear and scare tactic to close us down. And they closed us down, they destroyed the economy, and they did it. And now they're realizing that they did it, and now they realize that each individual state's economies are on the precipice of collapsing. Oh, now we got to go back to work. Well, we should have never left work. It's ridiculous. We'll take a break. Come back. Denellen. Told you about them looking for a new city administrator. There's more to that story now. We'll talk about that next. This is Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. The Source.
Again to tell you.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
People ask me why I've worked at Palm Garden for so long, and I tell them it's the people. I love to hear the life stories, especially those from the greatest generation. Celebrating life stories is what sets Palm Garden apart, finding out what's important to them. And I love being a resource. Like Macy's Santa, if I can't help, I'll send them to Gimbel's. After all, Palm Garden is located on 34th Street. I'm Jan from Palm Garden. Call me and let's chat. 854-6262.
Hey, the best deals of this new year are waiting for you right now at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. You need proof? Well, how about this? It's camellia time. And Bob Wines has them by the hundreds. No, by the thousands. Starting with his famous budded and blooming heirloom camellias. They start at just $9.99. And yes, those shade-loving Super Japonica camellias, they're beginning to bloom right now, and they're just $19.99. And yes, it's time to plant trees, and Bob Wines has a super selection. They're all low-priced shade trees. You buy one, you get one at half price. The same is true for citrus trees. Buy one, get one at half price. So start your year right with a wonderful visit to this 5-acre garden. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. They're on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, away from all the traffic, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Tick-tock, the